Take notice. Proclamation judicial, not a Mason official. Temple head on a swivel, see rights are not civil. Jurisdiction challenge, railroaded acquittal. Ex parte, no trial, dismissal is artificial. Straw man is not a lawman, but ends legis. In color of courts, more racket than tennis. Where colored man has no rights. And sicker this more thing, Jamal and Black Knight, Robin Hood Azim, not Cornish but Moorish American, stand on squares, surging adrenaline. Take notice, for the cross with a fez on, your favorite rapper has a dress on and leave press-ons. Take notice, you got hex and lost focus, while I see with eyes behind my head like Jokic. Are you listening or under hypnosis? Is intelligence overpowered by your emotions? Take notice, crack scene shots give blood clots, know what the Gen Z zombie culture. No Thanksgiving eating thighs of turkey vultures. Never see slaves, only black or more sculptures. Take notice, hailstorms and swarms locusts. When affirming, no claps, hands, palms open. That man's with hugs, brotherly love, holy covenant. Take notice, Moorish government, unconscious Moors used to meet quotas. Take notice. Proclamation judicial, not a Mason official. Temple head on a swivel, see rights are not civil. Jurisdiction challenge, railroaded acquittal. Ex parte, no trial, dismissal is artificial. Straw man is not a lawman, but ends legis. In color of courts, more racket than tennis. Where colored man has no rights. And sicker this more thing, Jamal and Black Knight, Robin Hood Azim, not Cornish but Moorish American, stand on squares, surging adrenaline. Take notice, for the cross with a fez on, your favorite rapper has a dress on and leave press-ons. Take notice, you got hex and lost focus, while I see with eyes behind my head like Jokic. Are you listening or under hypnosis? Is intelligence overpowered by your emotions? Take notice, crack scene shots give blood clots, know what the Gen Z zombie culture. No Thanksgiving eating thighs of turkey vultures. Never see slaves, only black or more sculptures. Take notice, hailstorms and swarms locusts. When affirming, no claps, hands, palms open. That man's with hugs, brotherly love, holy covenant. Take notice, Moorish government, unconscious Moors used to meet quotas. Chicago congressman won from the Moorish voters. Elders took notice to what Drew Ali said. Oscar Bay next to the prophet cause the priest is dead. Bay Anderson on his right, Moorish hijab. Right to bear arm, Moors might wear a niqab. Law and order mind, traders drawing quarter time. Cutting off hands and ears for committing a crime. Vegan beef with dirty Moors is not a family feud. Families fight, one's wrong, have perception skewed. Spiritual altitude, lower self-subdued. No sucrose drinks or European poison foods. Holistic versus my foe is alkalines. Pastor only speaking tongues from altar wines. For treason they all face the firing line. Most bystander not preventing the crime. Society invites it, then rewrites it. If a battle can't be won, don't fight it. Not saying see corruption and be silent, be defiant. Never punished all the clever corporate tyrants. Take notice. Politicians touch their own children. Yours get shot up and in the news for causing killings. Calling them black translates to living in death. Trans march for rights with their BIPOC breath. Take notice. Sex ed taught in daycare. False evidence appearing real is how you say fear. Claim you're woke but still you're dead and sleeping. Can't you see youth popping pills for the thrill seeking? Thinking they can fly. Off balconies leaving. One's facelift like weekend. Too much competing. Trying to be someone else. Won't be themselves. Skinny jeans got their manhood. Short like elves. Weaves and eyelashes. Puckering lips and tongues out. Should be enough to have dad's guns out. Take notice. We sit back and watch it happen. He's in extensions, lap dancing devils while rapping. She's in every video twerking, ass slapping. Y'all are Victor and Dre and shot, dildo strapping. I see what they trying. I took notice. I see their motives as they're bringing 12 roses. Bullets are used on blacks now, not fire hoses. Necrophiliacs and bodies before it decomposes. Take notice.
So it's our opinion that somebody may have called us here to set this up as...
I'm sorry, could you start that again? Could you?
My opinion that,
oh, okay.
that somebody may have called us here to make this more of a spectacle than it really needs to be. We're not here to infringe upon your rights. Okay?
I'm sorry, could you start that again? Could you?
My opinion now.
Oh, okay.
That somebody may have called us here to make this more of a spectacle than it really needs to be. We're not here to infringe upon your rights. Okay? You guys are free to do. You rented the space. You're here to do anything you can do legally. Okay, that's fine. My only concern is safety, and it's always safety. Okay? So somebody mentioned in that particular phone call that there may have been automatic weapons in that particular live feed. That's what we were concerned about. Okay? And I would hate to see something bad happen because we didn't investigate. That's my only concern.
Okay.
Somebody may have called us here to make this more of a spectacle than it really needs to be. We're not here to infringe upon your rights. Okay? You guys are free to do. You rented the space. You're here to do anything you can do legally. Okay, that's fine. My only concern is safety, and it's always safety. Okay? So somebody mentioned in that particular phone call that there may have been automatic weapons in that particular live feed. That's what we were concerned about. Okay? And I would hate to see something bad happen because we didn't investigate. That's my concern.
Okay.
Other than that, we're not here to bother you guys. We're going to all get in our cars and we're going to leave, and you can get back to your business and whatever it is that you guys are.
Thank you very much.
But I do want to caution you. I'm a little concerned that I think that maybe somebody set this up to just make a big spectacle, and it shouldn't be. Okay?
So shouldn't that phone call be investigated?
We are. I have to. Whatever it is that you guys are.
Thank you very much.
But I do want to caution you. I'm a little concerned that I think that maybe somebody set this up to just make a big Second Amendment spectacle, and it shouldn't be. Okay?
Thank you very much.
But I do want to caution you. I'm a little concerned that I think that maybe somebody set this up to just make a big Second Amendment spectacle, and it shouldn't be. Okay?
So shouldn't that phone call be investigated?
We are. I have the number.
Well, thank you.
It was obviously you guys were obviously YouTubing this.
Yeah, I'm live.
It was obviously somebody either
Not in the class.
following
Trolls
the class,
online.
following the class, controlling the class, whatever. Somebody called.
Thank you very much.
But I do want to caution you. I'm a little concerned that I think that maybe somebody set this up to just make a big Second Amendment spectacle, and it shouldn't be. Okay?
So shouldn't that phone call be investigated?
We are. I have the number.
Well, thank you.
It was obvious.
Few moments later.
Pistols, some had a combination of both. The trooper made inquiries as to their driver's license status, asked them to produce relevant firearms licenses, and the individuals indicated that they had neither, or that they did not have them on their person. The trooper, given the situation, there were approximately 8 to 10 of these individuals, requested backup immediately. Backup responded both in the form of MSP backup and local assets that responded to assist the trooper. Further inquiry was conducted with the individuals that had been stopped in the breakdown lane. At some point during this interaction, a number of those individuals alight into the wood line with their firearms. A perimeter was quickly established, both with sidearms, pistols. Some had a combination of both. The trooper made inquiries as to their driver's license status, asked them to produce relevant firearms licenses, and the individuals indicated that they had neither, or that they did not have them on their person.
Hold on a second. Go to one of the greatest websites ever created, rvbaypublications.com. They have a big section on here called Failure to Identify. Failure to identify. Notice to all law enforcement, nationals or citizens are not required to show identification to a police officer. The police officer swears by oath to uphold the United States Constitution as an officer of law. Supreme Court decisions are considered the law of the land in regard to constitutionally protected rights, and they cannot be interpreted or reinterpreted as they are stare decisis, already reviewed and clearly described as law. Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. The International Association of the Chiefs of Police adopted the Law Enforcement Code of Ethics at the 64th Annual IACP Conference and Exposition in October 1957. The Code of Ethics stands as a preface to the mission and commitment law enforcement agencies make to the public they serve. Public they serve. Law Enforcement Code of Ethics. As a law enforcement officer, my fundamental duty is to serve the community, to safeguard lives and property, to protect the innocent against deception, the weak against oppression or intimidation, and the peaceful against violence or disorder, and to respect the constitutional rights of all to liberty, equality, and justice. This is their oath. International Association of Chiefs of Police. You look up international to know what international means? International. But if you're not holding them to their oath by standing for your rights, then rights don't exist. So, when he's talking about
pistol,
they didn't have the identification that was asked for, so that caused the situation. It's not supposed to cause a situation, because he has an oath to the Constitution. Granted, there's 10 of them and 1 of you. Fine. No call for backup. But you're not calling for backup on some panic mode, send 500 cars and the SWAT and all that stuff. You're not. You're not going to say the secret code that means domestic terrorists, so these people come with sirens blaring, shutting down highways. Shutting down highways for some Moors going to train. Why are you shutting down highways for Moors going to train? It's not they were driving down the highway, shooting shots in the air, driving on the highway or something like that. They were putting gas. And then the reason why they were putting gas in, because they know in that state, if you get stopped with your arms because you're not just passing through, then they're going to railroad you. So as intelligent as they are, since they study and they know exactly what they're doing, because these people are ex-military. These aren't dumb niggers with guns out there. This isn't the guys from the corner with guns talking about they're going to go train in the woods. It's not the same. It's not the same. These are professionals. This isn't some guy that just went out there and liked guns and bought a gun and they're just going in the woods to go shoot at cans in the woods. These are professional people who served their country. That we know is a corporation, but we're gonna play their little game. So they serve their country. You know? Left Marines with credit. Didn't leave in a debt. He didn't get kicked out and nothing like that. Left with honors. Now he's taking this information and then assisting his community in, you know, defending themselves. Because when we check, we see little European babies out there with their 9s and stuff like that shooting, and crickets. Nobody has any issue whatsoever. The Sikhs went to court. They wanted the right to have their dagger on them. You can't tell them nothing, and they got their dagger on them. They got their dagger on them because they went to court in order for them to have their dagger, and nobody could tell them anything. But these Moors are going camping. The Moors are going camping, and they're stopping everybody. But what they did is that they thought it was niggers. Thought it was this their BIE BS, black identity extremist BS. So you saw camouflage and helmets, and you're thinking that these are the we're gonna go march on the KKK lawn people. No, these are the wrong ones. Absolutely the wrong ones. You're messed up. Now, for all the people who were out there, had their popcorn this morning, watching the festivities, there should be nothing being done. There should be nothing being said by anyone other than the people involved with it. So, for example, I could talk about it because after they shut down his IG live, I suspended him again or whatever, he called me to go live. So that's why I can talk on it, because I got a phone call. So I can say something. I can speak my mind with regard to this. Right? So there should be absolutely no novices, fetuses out there. They just came into this information yesterday talking about they're calling up some office to go tell them something on their voicemail. To go talk all colorable and mess up, make stuff worse. Make stuff worse. Because they don't know what's going on. And so much stuff is happening at once that everybody's in a frantic state and everybody thinks that they have the answer because, you know, they're not in that position. So what you should do is, no, there's no what you should do. We already showed you from 2018 when highwaymen are letting you know that they don't know what's going on. Maybe somebody called some highwaymen on you. Oh, you didn't hear that part? Okay, let's just go back again. Just because you don't think this is a psyop or something. These people tell on themselves all the time. And we tell them, let them talk. Don't interrupt. Let them talk. Let them talk so they could play themselves. You have a right to remain silent?
My only concern is safety, and it's always safety. Okay? So somebody mentioned in that particular phone call automatic weapons in that particular live feed. That's what we were concerned about.
Okay.
And I would hate to see something bad happen because we didn't investigate. That's my concern.
Okay.
Other than that, we're not here to bother you guys. We're going to all get in our cars and we're going to leave, and you can get back to your business and whatever it is you guys were up to.
Thank you very much.
But I do want to caution you.
No, how come then they're not playing these parts? How can not playing these parts with the European highwayman acknowledging that, oh yeah, no problem. Somebody snitched on you people. How's it 1 a.m.? How's it 1 a.m., right? And they're getting stopped on the I95 in the middle of darkness by highwaymen. You know, people are not thinking. That we so caught up in the hoopla. How at 1 a.m. highwaymen stopping them? Oh, well, they were stopped at the side of the highway. That's why the highwaymen stopped them. So if they were already stopped, then he didn't stop them. And if he came out the car and asked them for licenses and all that stuff, and they said, we don't have any, because we're not in your jurisdiction, he called his supervisor guy. I'm here with these guys. They're wearing flat jackets and armor plates and their vans all packed up and all that stuff. I don't have a warrant or anything like that. They're not violent. They're just putting gas in their truck. What do you want us to do here? And then supervisor will take his position that he's supposed to take. He's a supervisor guy. This is obviously not for the novice to deal with. Right? Supervisor showed up. Yep, sorry about the 20 cars and all that stuff. You know, somebody called and said they saw, you know what I mean, guy waving a gun in the street, you know what I mean? So we just had to come check because, you know, we have an oath to protect the public. So I showed up as the supervisor guy so that there's no BS going on. Because we know how it goes. We already got writs from you people and all that stuff. We've been watching your stuff on YouTube too. It's pretty good classes. So we're just doing a courtesy check just to let you know that we know, that you know, that we know, that you know, that we know, that you know, that we know everything's all right here. We're just checking. This is 2018. You think 2021 they forgot about who the Rise of the Moors are? They forgot that they exercised Second Amendment? They forgot. Why would they forget? If they have these traitors out here that keep pushing the narrative, the sellout narrative. So here we go, 3 hours ago. So this is right during the heat of the movie. Here comes Rami Salam El sending emails. Let your followers know that you made a mistake. Your way isn't the way. And redirect them back to Noble Drew Ali's teachings. For your sake and the sake of others. Quote, I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your cards is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Please remember, love instead of hate. Allah is watching us all. Then emojis. That domestic terrorist snitch guy. Right. Now, if Noble Drew Ali said, enforce the Constitution, and Second Amendment is a constitutional Bill of Rights, how are they making a mistake? Because Noble Drew Ali said, don't even carry a pocket knife. Well, Noble Drew Ali at a party and there were tanks and National Guard at the party. The hell are you talking about? Now you put things in context. Instead of just quoting Noble Drew Ali like a dumbass. Because you're not going to say the stuff that Noble Drew Ali also said. You're only going to say the stuff that fits with their little narrative. Whatever they're trying to push. Right? This is not love. He doesn't love Moors, because he wouldn't call Moors domestic terrorists if he loved Moors. He doesn't love Moors. That's criminal. To know your brother, because you don't like him for whatever reason, you're going to call him a domestic terrorist. And then, when domestic terrorist stuff happens, you're running up, pointing fingers, talking about, see, I told you guys that they're whatever.
Driver's license status.
FOH.
Asked them to produce relevant firearms licenses, and the individuals indicated that they had neither, or that they did not have them on their person. The trooper given the...
Oh yeah, and don't forget, stare decisis. Colander versus Lawson, in which the United Supreme Court ruled that a police officer could not arrest a citizen merely for refusing to present identification. State versus Robinson. An illegal arrest is an assault and battery. The person so attempted to be restrained has his liberty, restrained of his liberty, has the same right to use force in defending himself as he would in repelling any other assault and battery. Now, keep in mind, you know what I mean? You didn't hear that anybody got shot up and none of that stuff. You know, shootout with the police. The Moors on the front page, shootout with the police. There was none of that stuff. There was none of that. I thought this Moor stuff doesn't work. I thought Moor stuff doesn't work, but in the articles they're talking about rise of the Moors and Jamal Bey and all that. Well, I have a Bay in there if the Moor stuff doesn't work. The Moor stuff doesn't work? How come they left this, what is it, 8-hour standoff, 10-hour standoff, or some type of madness like that? 10-hour standoff. Because Moor's going on a camping trip. And you think this is real? You think this is real? This is not real. There's no way that this is real. This can't be real. This is all a psyop. Psychological warfare. Our people aren't ready for that level of warfare. Our people aren't ready for that. They can't even handle this little bit of warfare that they're dealing with. So they're definitely not ready for the psychological warfare. Because the psychological terrorists are terrorizing their minds with this thing going on. Uh, 10 hours. 10 hours. Tell me that's not psychological terrorism? Aren't the terrorists the people who take the people and then strap them to the chair and then they bzz, bzz, bzz them and all that stuff? Isn't that terrorism? Okay, so if some people who are going camping, right? Just like Muslim guy just at his house or whatever, and a bomb just drops on him just because somebody said that guy is a terrorist. Somebody said he's a terrorist. Just like this situation. Someone said, oh, those Moors over there, they're domestic terrorists. I'm a Moor. I follow Noble Drew Ali. And yep, those Moors are domestic terrorists. And then these people run down on them. They're going camping. They're going camping and they get run down on. 10 hours they're out there. Food's running out, water's almost done. You tell me that's different than the guys strapping people to the chair and sawing their head off? How is it different? How's it different? There's absolutely no difference. Because that was a psychological play they put on them. Stuff could have been done at 2 a.m. Why are they out there for 11 hours? 11 hours? Standoff? Not one gun went off? Not one bullet fell on the ground? Not one arm got pointed in the direction of somebody? 11 hours because they were putting gas? And you don't think that this is a psyop? You're really looking at this thinking about some police and a situation with these guys who had guns and then they were walking around with the guns, and you're looking at it with no volume, and all you see is these guys must be domestic terrorists. Like, they got the guns out there, they're walking up and down the highway, they got the flag out. This is a domestic terrorist going on. No, it's not. Not a domestic terrorist anything. Moors are going camping. They're ex-military. Just like ex-basketball guy is going to go to the gym still, even though he's 45, 50, 60, 70. He's still going to go to the gym. They're Marines. They used to shoot. They're not Marines no more, but they still shoot. It's no big deal. All soldiers still shoot. Unless they left some psychological stuff there in the madhouse or whatever. But if you've been in the military, when you get out of the military, you still shoot. They know exactly what. Oh, you must have forgot. Let's just remind you again. You must have forgot.
Is safety. Mm-hmm. It's always safe. Okay? You guys are free to do. You rented the space. You're here to do anything you can do legally. Okay, that's fine. My only concern is safety. Mm-hmm. It's always safety. Mm-hmm. Respectable, and it really needs to be. We're not here to infringe upon your rights. Mm-hmm. Somebody may have called us here to make this more respectable, and it really needs to be. We're not here to infringe upon your rights. Okay? You guys are free to do. You rented the space. You're here to do anything you can do legally. Okay, that's fine. My only concern is safety, and it's always safety. Okay? So somebody mentioned in that particular phone call that there may have been automatic weapons in that particular live feed. That's what we were concerned about.
Okay.
And I would hate to see something bad happen because we didn't investigate. That's my concern.
Okay.
Other than that, we're not here to bother you guys. We're going to all get in our cars and we're going to leave, and you can get back to your business and whatever it is that you guys are.
Thank you very much.
But I do want to caution you. I'm a little concerned that I think that maybe somebody set this up. But I do want to caution you. I'm a little concerned that I think that maybe somebody set this up to just make a big Second Amendment spectacle.
Very much.
But I do want to caution you. I'm a little concerned that I think that maybe somebody set this up to just make a big Second Amendment spectacle, and he shouldn't be.
So shouldn't that phone
We
call
should
be
be here.
investigated?
We are. I have the number. And
Well, thank you.
it was obviously you guys were obviously YouTubing this.
Yeah, I'm live.
Live.
It was obviously somebody either
Not in the class.
Pretty much.
following
Troll
the class,
online.
following the class,
Trolling.
controlling the class, whatever. Somebody called. We had no idea.
We understand.
Somebody called you. Called us when we phone call. You gotta respect the fact that it's our duty to investigate, right?
Yeah.
Once there's a crime committed, and once you have a warrant, but until then, there's no investigation.
Let's back up. Safety. That's it. We're not saying anybody committed a crime, right? And nobody on the phone call was saying there was a crime committed, right?
They told you about crime committed on the news? Did they tell you on the news when they were showing all the stuff and people were ringing down the phone or whatever, what are we gonna do? The Moors gotta do something or whatever. You heard something about crime? What did you hear? What did they tell you what happened? Because I was there. I was on the phone there, so I know what happened. But what did they tell you that happened? Because I don't watch the news. It's just interesting to find out what you heard happen. Because what I heard happen from the spectacle being on the phone with the lieutenant is the lieutenant's there trying to convince them to stand down. He's like, stand down? What do you mean stand down? Stand down from what? We're putting gas in the thing. Like, what do you mean stand down? Like, what do you mean stand down? I'm sitting down here in the car talking to you. What am I standing down from? Trying to set up their narrative. And again, all Moors who study already know. All Moors who study already know. Rights are protected. Criminals can't get away with violating people's rights. Criminal Procedure Rule 3.1, determination of probable cause for detention. How about probable cause for a spectacle? What type of probable cause do you have to shut down a highway, inconvenience thousands of people by shutting down a main highway? This is what these people are doing with your tax money. Who you want to pay so much taxes to? Oh yeah, we paid our taxes. Oh yeah, this is what you paid for. This is what you paid for. You paid for on a long weekend. Listen to on a long weekend, your tax dollars paid for an 11-hour standoff on the I95. Nori had a song about the I95. Inconveniencing people on a long weekend going to wherever they're going. COVID just happened and stuff, so people, you know what I mean, they're trying to get out a little bit. You know, stuff's open. I got my vaccine. You know, I should be able to go anywhere. No, you can't. Because they got a PSYOP going on. They got a PSYOP going on to convince all these people that Moors are terrorists, at the same time play you because They just inconvenienced you for 11 hours. You're not burning the place down? How much people ran out of gas on the highway? I95. What the hell's going on? I don't know. Something's going on up there. What's going on? Maybe they hit a deer or something. We'll be out of here in an hour. You know how long a backup a backup on a highway for 11 hours? Do you know how much traffic? Think about think about you're about to you thinking about you know what I mean, you got like a 5-hour drive. Got like a 5-hour drive. You're thinking about the beers in the cooler. We're gonna get up there for noon. Sun's peaking when we get up there. Get out there, leave up. Get up there and start the weekend. Womp womp. 11 hours. Oh, what was the temperature like? Oh, if it was 100 degrees. If it was 100 degrees out there, oh, you people will be mad. You people be so mad. You know how mad you'd be? You know how mad you'd be? Oh, you'd be so mad. You'd be so mad. That's what you get. Because if you would have just said that you're Moors, they would have had enough stops with Moors that this wouldn't even be an issue. If you listen to what Noble Drew Ali said in the 1900s, you wouldn't have been held up on the highway because of some Moors going camping. They would have saw their identification and said, oh, you guys going to the, and you're gonna go practice with the stuff? What you got in there? Oh, you got the AR, you got bazookas and stuff? Well, have fun. Not safety. What safety of what? There's some Moors going camping. 10 Moors. And they got some arms. And you shut the place down? And then people are going to say, oh yeah. When Agenda 21 happens, and then they start locking down, well, what do you think? What do you think that's not martial law what they just did? You keep missing the point that you were inconvenienced too. Not just the people who are in the situation that we're just trying to go camping. Now we're out here, all the food's done. We're a quarter of the way of where we're supposed to be going. Can't turn back now, and there's no food and stuff. And then 11 hours later, finally, all right, you could, all right, come over here. Just hold the guns. It's okay. You don't want us to? No, it's all right. Come on. We just walk. Turn your back to me and walk to me backwards. We just put these wrist ties. We don't use the cuffs. And then you're thinking something's going on. It was all a show. And then, don't forget, it's on long weekend. They pulled this. They pulled it in the morning. They pulled it in the morning. Not out of there for 11 hours, 10 hours, 9 hours, 8 hours, 7 hours, 6 hours, 5 hours, even an hour. Because it's not that serious. We're just going over there to go camping. We have some guns because we're ex-Marines. We shoot. Oh, yes, thank you for your service and all that stuff. You know, COVID, but I'll shake your hand, you know. Thank you. You have a good time. So the PSYOP. It's too easy. It's too easy. All the dummies who fell for it, it has nothing to do with them. They were just being used as the scapegoat for them to waste your time on the long weekend because they couldn't use COVID. That's over. And really those Moors ain't need anything or whatever like that because people already know who they are. They've been in court for the past year. No. But they see what's going on. No. They see. You know, it's certain activity. You know, and any activity that has to do with organization and not just being a dumb nigger running around here with your head cut off. Once it's not about organization, they're good with it. As soon as it's about organization, they're gonna have problems. You know, it's not something about it was a PSYOP. It was a play with your mind, with the whole concept of Moors and rights and sovereignty and arms, and it was a whole play, a movie, it was a script. Everything set up perfectly. You got the people involved with it. You got their body camera. You got the highwayman's body camera, which obviously they're probably gonna get out of this and not have their body camera, or have it back accidentally broken or everything erased on it, because they have to paint their narrative. And again, they had their setup, had the people out there with it in the back and all that stuff. They had their setup. They were painting a narrative in order to deter you from your nationality and your birthrights as Moors. These people are good. They're not dumb nigger Jim Bob guy with the teeth missing, you know what I mean, sleeping with his cousin.
Sidearms, pistols, some had a combination of both. The trooper made inquiries as to their driver's license status, asked them to produce relevant firearms.
Well, see, that's again. Look what you said, right? Look what you said. They took down the Rise of the Moors IG page with all the videos documented. That's why they did it at 1 a.m. Because they already know either people are going to be trapped up looking at this thing, seeing where this escalates, quote unquote, or they're going to catch it later. But the problem is, it messes with their narrative. Because they want this one to be what's in the minds of the people. That's why it's a psy-op, a psychological operation. You know, they're going to give you an operation where your back, yeah, cut you open or whatever. Operation. Okay, so psychological operation. So they're opening your mind and they're moving stuff and touching stuff they shouldn't touch and putting stuff in there that doesn't belong. Right. This is all about the psychological op against your birthrights. It's all coming down to, are you going to take this thing serious? Are you still going to think this Moor stuff is a joke? They had the place shut down for 11 hours because of some Moors. What more you want than that? They didn't get this stuff done fast and get it out of the way. They had a whole operation going relative to Moors. You think that this is not where it's at? You think it's about somewhere else? The Moorish paradigm is where it's at. Everybody's eyes are on the Moorish paradigm. Entertainment people, highwaymen, judge, attorney people, accountant people. There was an accountant bringing up Taj Tariq Bey in a video. Talking about this is where it's at. The problem is that they know our people ride a fence or don't stick to a side. They know this. All they know, they gotta just dangle a carrot in front of the nigger. And he's running.
Licenses, and the individuals indicated that they had neither, or that they did not have them on their person. The trooper, given the situation, there were approximately 8 to 10 of these individuals, requested backup immediately. Backup responded both in the form of MSP backup and local assets that responded to assist the trooper. Further inquiry was conducted with the individuals that had been stopped in the breakdown lane. At some point during this interaction, a number of those individuals alight into the wood line with their firearms. A perimeter was...
Oh yeah, the wood line. So the wood line is because they don't know what's going on right now. They're thinking ambush. They're thinking these people are trying to murder us in the woods right now. So this is all the stuff that we've been training for. Again, setting up the narrative, right? Because the highwaymen are moving because they already know what move that the Moors are going to make. Because they already kicked the door in. They already kicked the door in. So they saw opportunity. That's real interesting how they getting stopped at 1 a.m. Like, where is this highwayman coming from at 1 a.m.? Like, how does the universe line it up so that they're stopped on the highway at this point where they decide, marker, whatever it was, whatever point, whatever marker it was where they stopped at, to just put gas. And Happy Man just shows up. Happy Man just shows up. 1 a.m. he just shows up. I don't know. Seems fishy. 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 Somebody knows where people live. And they don't travel in cars with lights on them and stuff like that. Because something's fishy. So these Moors thought it was a trap. So they got into formation. Get into formation, or everybody got into their formation. That's how the wood line happened. But they're pushing the wood line as if this is some terrorist activity going on, and they're getting into position for... No, they're getting into position to protect themselves because they don't know what's going on, because they already kicked in the thing. We've been going to court with these people for the past year, back and forth. People hanging up on people on the virtual, whatever like that. Today we're going to do it, tomorrow we're going to do it, not getting messages, and all this BS going on. So I would think something's fishy. And I would be on alert too. Just be on alert. Not going to do anything. Just be on alert. That's what we're training for. So don't be scared by the wood line and then you start thinking about, oh my God, the Moors were going to set up to go shoot them. See, we told you. No, don't let them try to pull that BS on you either about the wood line.
Was quickly established, both with local assets and MSP assets, like the bank, the NEMLEC team that responded, as well as the Massachusetts Stop Police team that responded. A hard perimeter was set. During the course of the morning as this evolved, ultimately 2 individuals were located in the wood line. One was armed. Those 2 individuals have been taken into custody and are under arrest and are being processed now. We are currently engaged with the subjects through our hostage negotiation team. We are talking with the subjects, some that are in the woods, some that are still at the vehicles in the breakdown lane where the original interaction occurred.
Right, so you see the narrative how they're spilling it, right? We already got 2 of them. Remember, he was on the phone with the lieutenant, and the lieutenant is telling him, "Yes, I know that you're peaceful. Yes, I know. Yes, I know that you have rights. But you have to put the stuff down. I can't put it down because that's my right. Why? Because I don't know what you people are gonna do. Because you already kicked my door in. And because you kicked my door in, and because you've been involved in criminal activity in my life that nobody wants to fess up to, I feel threatened right now. So I'm just going to exercise my right." Well, there's the countdown. Honors to all the Moors. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Watch out for the PSYOP, because they're playing psychological terrorists. Honors to all the mothers. Honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali.